Hi, my name's Franco, and I'm here to introduce you to the multi-booking scheduler add-on. So this add-on was created with businesses that do a high-frequency number of jobs throughout the course of a month. These businesses tend to be cleaning businesses or home care and property maintenance businesses, where they might be revisiting the same site several times over the course of a week and a month. ServiceM8 does have the recurring jobs add-on for businesses that want to keep going back out to the same customer on occasion. The recurring jobs add-on is great add-on if, say, you're doing a once a month return visit, or maybe once every 2, 3, 6 months. But if you're a business that keeps going back to the same job site day in, day out, the recurring jobs add-on isn't such a great fit, because you'll end up with a whole bunch of new jobs in your system, whereas most businesses that do repeat visits to a job site over the course of a month, they just want the one monthly job and then have multiple bookings inside that one monthly job. So that's where this add-on comes in. It helps you quickly create multiple bookings in one job. So let's have a look at it. So let's open up a job, and we've got pretend we're a cleaning company today, and I've got a customer who requires a team of cleaners to go out there regularly. So open up the job card, run up the multi-booking scheduler add-on. And once the add-on is opened, you'll see that we can see the job details at the top, including the job number, customer name, and their address. Below that, we've got select staff. Now, we can select staff who are active on your dashboard and show up in your schedule. So in ServiceM8, you can choose to hide staff from the dashboard in the schedule. And if that's the case, then they will not show up in this list. The other reason why somebody might not show up on this list is if they don't have an email address. We purposely included that because some add-ons or integrations create user accounts in your system, and they do not necessarily have email addresses, and they are not necessarily real people that you want to schedule. So we've excluded anybody that doesn't have an email address will not show up in here either. Now, you can select one or more staff. So if I wanted to select let's say one person, I can hold down the Alt or Command key, depending on whether you're using Windows or Mac. Hold down the Alt key and choose more than one staff member. So let's say I've got 3 staff members that I want to put into this booking: Helen, John, and Tracy. And then the next thing we've got is the duration for the booking. So you can select up to between 0 and up to 24 hours. Let's say it's going to be a 1 hour, and in terms of minutes, you can choose in 15-minute increments. So let's say it's a 1.5 hour job for our team of 3 people. Now, we've got the start date. So when is this job effective from? Let's say we want to start the job effective from next Monday, and we want the job to start at 7:30 in the morning. Okay. Now, you'll notice that I cannot choose a date earlier than the current date. So you can only choose dates that happen after the current date, which is the way it should be. Once I've got the date selected, I can choose the recurrence end. Now, you've got 2 choices. You can choose to end the recurrence by a specified end date or by the number of recurrences. It's your choice. Today, we'll do it by specified end date, but if I was to do it by number of recurrences, I will choose that and just put in the number of recurrences. So let's say after 10 recurrences, this booking will stop. But today I'm going to choose by specified end date. So let's change it to specified end date. It changes this field over here to a date field. And as you can see, I cannot choose an end date that is earlier than my start date. Again, common sense. So let's say we're going to do it for the month starting between March 11 and take it through to April, the equivalent. So let's say to April the 12th. How's that? And the next thing we can choose is the recurrence frequency. So you've got a choice between daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, or custom. So daily basically means every single day between these 2 dates. Weekly means once a week between these 2 dates, starting on this date, monthly, and so on and so forth. Custom allows you to choose the specific days of the week that you want the recurrence to happen. So, for example, let's say I want my team to be there on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and exclude Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And the next thing I can do here is I can choose the number of recurrences over the period. So maybe I want that to happen every week, or maybe every 2nd week, or every 3rd week, etc., etc. You choose. I'm going to make it for every week. I want this pattern to repeat. Once I'm happy with the recurrence, I can choose save. Something to note is that if you are going to use the custom recurrence frequency, you have to use the by specified end date. We've purposely disabled it so that if you try and do it by number of recurrences, it comes up with an error and says you can't do that. So if you do try, it's just not going to create any bookings. Okay, so use if you're going to use custom, do it by specified end date. Very good. Now, the next option down here is a checkbox to queue after booking. Now, some businesses want to be able to put the job straight back into a queue as soon as they've created their job bookings. By default, ServiceM8's behavior is when you create a booking against a job, if it was in a queue, by putting a new booking into the job, it will kick it out of the queue. That's a behavior by design by ServiceM8. But like I said, we come across businesses that would want the job to be booked into a future date and time and to live in a queue. So this option is here to accommodate that. If you click queue after booking, you will get a list of your current job queues. Let's say I want to let it live in my work in progress queue. And you do need to choose an expiration date for how long that job is allowed to live in the queue. So I'll make it coincide with the until the Monday following the last booking date. So I'm going to make it Monday the 15th of April is when the job is allowed to live in that queue until. Something also that you need to be aware of is while I can set the queue here after booking, if your staff change the booking, the job booking themselves, like they choose to complete the job, that will kick it out of the queue. Or if they decide to deliberately move it into another queue, that will kick it out of the queue that you might have chosen. So there's no way for this add-on to control staff from modifying that queue behavior. So just be aware of that. Best thing to tell them is that if you do want those jobs to stay in the queue that you designate when you're creating these bookings, when they do go to checkout, there's an option for them to do nothing. So just educate them to do nothing when they're going through their checkout process on their mobile app. Okay, so I'm going to assign it to the queue, boom. And as you can see down here, I can see now which queue that this job is going to be put into after all the bookings get created. Last thing we've got to do is just click the Create New Bookings button. It's going to ask me, are you sure you want to create the bookings? And then it goes through the process of creating the bookings. Now, you might notice that it's not super fast. Now, because ServiceM8 has what we call API threshold limits, which basically limits how fast you're allowed to process the instructions on the app. So if you've got a lot of bookings that you're making through this, like let's say it's 6 months worth or 12 months worth in this job, this could take a couple of minutes to complete. But anyway, once it is completed, you'll get a note to say the bookings have been created, and it will show you the bookings that were created. So as you can see, all the bookings have been made. I said it was for the 11th, starting on the 11th of March with Helen, John, and Tracy, right through 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right through to April the 12th, which was my final booking date. Now, something you can do here is let's say you want to remove a booking. You decided that on certain weeks, certain people aren't going to be available for that booking. So you can selectively remove people from after you've created the booking. You just click, and click the remove bookings. When you do click and select a booking, this button becomes activated. If you don't have anything selected, that button is inactive, grayed out. You can also select all the bookings if you've made them. If you want to change them all and remove them all in one big hit, you can do that. You can select them all and remove the bookings. Before you do that, though, what I recommend you do is choose the Save to Job Diary button. And what that does is it creates a quick snapshot of all the current active bookings that you've got in your job, and it saves it as a text note in your job diary. Notice that I said active bookings. Those are bookings which are yet to happen, still come up. It won't take a snapshot of any of the previous bookings that might have happened in the past. So these are all the future added active bookings. So let's click Save to Job Diary. And boom, all of those bookings are now saved, just in case you need to figure out what bookings you did remove. And then you can now click remove bookings, and that will remove all the bookings. Boom. Okay, so let's try that. Boom, remove all the bookings. And over here, ServiceM8's just going to continue to remove all the bookings from the job. And again, depending on the number of bookings, it could take 1 or more minutes to process all those. And when the spinner stops and the message pops up and says all the bookings have been removed, then you'll know that they're all gone. Okay, all the bookings have been cancelled. Click OK, and we can see that there are no more active bookings. And just to be sure, okay, all those previous bookings that were made, they're all gone. Okay, Quit. All right, that's pretty much the long and the short of it. If you already have an existing job with active bookings, you can just come in here and click View Active Bookings, and it'll show you all the active bookings, and you can manage them that way. Hopefully you got a little bit out of this video, and I hope you have fun with it. Cheers.